Hey everybody, it's Carolyn Cooper here from SimplyAlign. And today I am interviewing one of our certified SimplyAlign practitioners, Carol Colvin. And I'm just going to turn it to her first. Carol, tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you all those years ago to get trained in SimplyAlign.
Okay, thank you. I was really interested in coaching and energy and just how things work. And I grew up in Oregon. I'm the oldest child in my family, and my sister and I used to quarrel a lot over who got to play with toys and things like that. So my mom would pick a number between 1 and 10, and she would have us guess the number, and whoever got closest to the number would get the toy or whatever it was. And my sister she was so angry because I always chose the exact number that my mom was thinking. So I knew that I had some intuition, some extrasensory something or other, even as a little child. And I would see all the numbers in my head, and then one would kind of just be brighter than the other ones. So I thought, this is interesting and kind of weird. And it scared me a little bit when I was young. But as I got older, I realized it was a gift. And I actually, when I was looking into some other things related to coaching and mindset, I found your program, SimplyAlign, and a friend who was a mentor of mine in another business suggested that I ponder on some different things she had me read and see if energy work was something that I should explore. And I had an amazing experience where I felt very drawn to study energy work and learn more about my gifts. And I kept pursuing that. I took your prerequisite course to learn about my what are those things you call them?
Your intuitive gifts, that one? Or
Yeah, but
the energy healing jumpstart?
Claire's, your
Oh,
Claire.
oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I did that and learned how I can work with energy and how I can sense it. And I just felt really drawn to that. So now I've been doing this for 12 years. It's benefited my family. It's benefited friends. I've had lots of clients. I live in Oregon again after many years of living in Washington. I'm back in Oregon and living near my mom. I help take care of her. I have 3 grown children. I have 2 grandchildren who live with me currently. So I'm a busy woman, but I love helping people with energy work.
Nice. Thank you. I love the story about you always guessing the number that your mom had. What a wise mom. She was training you to trust your intuition. She didn't even know it.
But she was also causing my sister to not like me very much.
Oops. Well, I still like the story.
I do too.
So for you, Carol, what is the most rewarding part? I mean, there's so many rewarding parts to this work, but what is there anything that just jumps out that it's like, oh, this is the part I love the best?
Yeah, the part I love the most is when I hear from my clients that they feel more free after talking with me. They feel better, more confident, more sure of themselves. They believe their affirmations, and they are getting along better with the people in their lives. It just helps me to know that they were stuck and now they're not stuck. They feel unstuck.
Mhm.
I love to solve puzzles, and when I can help other people easily put the pieces into place without having to do all that work, it's simply aligned. That's what it's supposed to be, and it can be, and it is, and it's just a huge boost whenever I can help somebody get unstuck.
Love it. Love it. I know. Unstuck, unburdened. Those are the words I hear most often too from client. I think every practitioner would agree with that, but
Yeah.
yeah, thank you. Beautifully said. Do you have any particular specialty or anything you like working challenges you like working with people on the most?
Well, I've worked with all ages. I think my youngest client was 2, and I worked on him while his mom was holding him, and that was amazing. I've worked on men, I've worked on women of all ages. I really feel like I have an affinity for women of a certain age, 45 and over, seniors, who just have felt stuck in a lot of ways over a long period of time, less than empowered, maybe not able to communicate well with siblings and parents. I had one client who had a really hard time feeling good about being around her mother and her mother's family, because there were some things that had gone on many, many years before that had caused hurt feelings, and she just physically felt uncomfortable every time she was around her family. And I was able to work with her, and in one session she felt sort of a I don't know, some sort of a wave, an energetic wave move through and out the top of her head. And she said from then on, she did not feel any physical discomfort being around her family. She was able to speak with her mother's relatives without stuttering and just finding it difficult to be with them. And her anger was gone. I love it when that can happen. So I love helping people work out their relationship issues in a simple way, in a graceful way, where they don't have to avoid people. They can be with the people that are maybe a little bit difficult without having a problem and needing to leave. So that's really great. I also love working with people who are going through transitions in their lives where things aren't the way they expected. You grow up and things are a certain way and you're going along, everything's great. And all of a sudden a monkey wrench gets thrown into your life. Big changes happen and you need to change the way you think. And maybe it has to do with what your kids are going through. It might have to do with your faith. There's just changes and you need to adapt. And I love helping people through that.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people going through that right now. So, yeah.
And I went through it myself personally. I've gone through a lot of changes as my family has grown and they've gone through their changes, and I've needed to adapt and adjust my thinking as to what's right, what's wrong. It's a lot of changes that I've gone through so that it's easier for me to understand what other people are going through and to help them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. And it's, we have so many programs running in the background, all of us, just from stimuli we've taken in all our life. And so many times we're not even aware of it. And with the Simply Healed session, it can easily release things that you're conscious of and things that come up all the time in every session. People go, oh, I never made that connection before, but your energy has made the connection. It's still holding on to things. Yeah. So, and also
it's awesome to work with people on, this popped into my head, money issues. I had a lot of problems feeling like I deserved to have wealth or anything above, a certain level of income because of the way that my dad felt about money and the way his parents who raised him during the Depression felt about money. I had to get over a lot of things to say it's okay for me to make a living. It's okay for me to earn a decent living. And I love helping people through that. So yeah, there's a lot of energetic obstacles that are in the background that we don't even realize are there. You're right.
Yeah, for sure. For sure with money issues, especially. Okay, so what advice? So you've been doing SimplyAlign for a long time. I know you also do some coaching and things too. What advice or what would you tell someone who's maybe thinking about doing SimplyAlign? And I feel like I should say, if somebody's watching this who doesn't know what SimplyAlign it's very conversational. All of my clients, probably yours too, Carol, are over Zoom or phone. We can work in person, but I haven't for years. It's not like some of the energy healings that you need to lie on a massage table and we channel energy and all of that. It's not like that at all. It's more conversational, like the practitioner intuitively can listen to what your energy, and nothing comes up if your energy doesn't want to bring it up and release
Exactly.
that day.
What
But what would you say?
the way that I do it, and this has worked for me the best, I love when my clients start talking to me and I ask them how they feel stuck. That's usually how we start. How do you feel stuck today? What's physically, emotionally, how do you feel stuck? And as they're talking to me, just like in my experience as a child with the numbers, words start, they'll jump out. They'll say a word and I'll write it down because that word jumped out at me. And then as I'm looking at the words that I've written, other words might pop in. And those are the words that I bring up with the client. And they'll, oh, yes, and something connects with them. So I see words, and I do better actually when I'm on the phone and I can't see their face. For some reason, I do better when I'm listening and my intuition just grabs some of those words. So that's, for me, that's how it works.
Yeah. I've often said I see more when I see less.
Right.
If I'm not right there, and sometimes I'll just, if I'm on Zoom with someone, oftentimes I'll just close my eyes to kind of see what's going on. And we all have that. Everybody has that sense of intuition. It works differently. We all have different gifts, like different flowers in a garden, but everybody can do that. Like we all
and
have.
That's what I was going to say when you asked me what advice that I would give to someone who's thinking about learning about this, is that it benefits you personally, even if you never want to do this for anyone else. To learn about your intuition, about your own gifts, is a huge benefit of this program. And I'm so glad I did it because it just helped me to grow. And then I was able to help other people. But even if I never had helped anyone, it helped me to learn about my gifts.
Beautifully said. I like it. Thanks. Yeah, that's so true. Okay, Carol, how can people find you if somebody is like, "Ooh, I want a session with her. She really understands me." Where where do they go?
Well, if you want to get to know me better, I'm on Facebook. I'm Carol McCullough Colvin on Facebook. And if you type in Carol Colvin and you see this face, that's me. I'm very public on Facebook. I love to do things socially, and I'm out and about. So you can get to know me there. And then my website is linked in the directory on your site. It's upbeing158.com, where there's a big story to why I called my business that, but that's what it is. And you can just click on the link right on your site after watching this video and learn more about me.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, upbeing. I love that word. Remember the first time I saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love your website word.
I created a word. I still feel like I'm going to get struck by the English language gods because I made up a word, but I did.
I love making up words. I do it every day, probably. Not good ones, probably, but anyway, all the links are below also. So we've got her link below. We do have a SimplyAlign Practitioner directory at simplyalign.com, and Carol is on there. You'll see her cute face and her information on there. So thank you so much. That was informative for me. I know you, and that was informative for me to listen to your answers to those questions. So I appreciate you being here and chatting with me today.
Thank you very much.